Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming today. Welcome to Ask an Expert. I'm Paulette Passioni with the Chandler Chamber of Commerce. And today we are going to be talking about the best practices for email marketing. And if you are a chamber member, you certainly know that we do a lot of email marketing. So Jill is going to give us the best way to do that. Let me just give you a little bit of background. Jill Gangler has been helping small business succeed for over 3 decades. Most recently as a small business success coach with Infusionsoft for the past 3 years. Her manager, director, executive director, and VP of sales and marketing, her extensive experience across a wide variety of industries allows Jill to bring implementable concepts to small business customers and to consistently save time and earn more. Without further ado, let me present Jill Gangler with Infusionsoft.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me all right? can get some very important feedback on what they wanted. If your product or service wasn't perfect, when you have an announcement, if you update your website, if you have a contest. How many people here have done a contest for their customers and prospects? Yeah, not as many as I had thought. I have a woman who does customized jewelry. She actually makes the beads herself. And it's not inexpensive. But what she did was run a little contest asking people, once you've gotten your jewelry, have a picture taken with you wearing your jewelry. And we're going to have my other customers vote on who looks best in their jewelry. And it didn't cost anyone anything. They just sent her via email photographs of themselves with their name and a description of their jewelry. She put them on a gallery page of her website, and people voted. She gave the top 3 winners a dollar amount for more jewelry. So much web traffic. It was ridiculous. She told people on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, oh gosh, what's the one with all the pictures and stuff? Snapchat, Instagram. She told everyone, all of her followers, that she was having this contest, and that drove so many people to her gallery page and got people voting and giving their names to vote. And when they voted, they got an email that said, "Thank you for voting. If you're interested in my newsletters, updates, and events, click here." And they could opt in, and suddenly she had captured people that were just voting on her contest. Sorry. It's a great idea. That's how she turned long-term nurturing of prospects and customers into generating more leads. She worked with those who had worked with her to generate new leads by having a contest with those people. This all cycles around beautifully across the life cycle marketing phases of attract, sell, and wow. Awesome. Now, when you've written emails, you're sitting there going, okay, what am I going to write in this email to promote my next product? And I'm going to fire this out through iContact or Constant Contact or MailChimp. What words am I going to use? Please use the avoid and achieve language that you've written down. I don't want to say this way, but you want to poke at those pains that your product or service solves. You want to highlight those things that your product or service will help a person achieve. People purchase based on emotion. And if they feel with you that they'll be safe, if they feel with your products and services they'll do better, if they feel that there's value in what you're providing, they'll pull that trigger, click that call to action, and you'll get that new customer quickly. You need to have copy, content that connects with your audience. One generic email is not going to press the button for every single person that gets it. You have to send one email to your women, potentially. One email that's a little unique to the men. One email to the married people. One email to the not married people. One email to the homeowner versus the one that is still renting and maybe thinking of buying a home. You have to very clearly define your target market. Spend the time to do custom content in your email marketing to those groups to increase your open rate, click-through rate, and purchases. Basics of email marketing. Now, when you've got that wonderful email ready, there are some things that you want to do to optimize your email. This is our little Bible. And we go through this with people as they write their emails in their Infusionsoft broadcasts, their Constant Contact broadcasts, their campaign emails in our software. There are things that you can do to increase your open rate. Most of you, I imagine, all have a phone. If you look at your email on your phone and you look at a brand new email, at the top you're going to have who it's from in big letters and bold. The very next thing will be something called the pre-header text. And then the third thing you see on the display on your phone is probably the first sentence of that email. That is what determines at stupid o'clock in the morning when you're looking at your emails whether you go delete, 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 or you click it and read it. So when you create an email, make sure that the subject line makes sense. It needs to be personal. We personalize by putting in a person's actual name using like a merge field. So it says, John, something new for you today. The other invaluable thing that I have learned since 1998, because I was involved in the actual beta testing of this, the A and B split testing. An ellipsis increases open rate by 10 to 15%. Not in every email, or it'll drive people nuts. But I've got something great for you, John, dot, dot, dot. That 3-dot ellipsis is invaluable. Again, not in every email, or it'll start to get, every time you send it, they'll roll their eyes and go, another ellipsis. The ellipsis is a psychological punctuation that means you need to look in here. You need to click this link. You need to, all right, for more information, There's no question about it. It's a 10 to 15% increase in open rate when we've looked at campaigns that have and don't have the ellipsis. And that you'll probably not see in any book anywhere. We just know. Now, the from email address. People are much more likely to open an email from a human being. You want your name, even if it's just John at, in your email address. I'm also going to mention DMARC. Anybody here know what DMARC is? Okay. On June 30th, Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, AOL, MSN, all of the major email providers put their foot down, and now they've implemented DMARC. If your company email is an @Yahoo, an @Gmail, an one of the generic email service provider email addresses, any email you send is going into the promotions folder and no longer into the inbox, period. You have got to get a business email address for yourself. Not, if you have a website, for example, GoDaddy, you can go there and get a work email address because you're hosted by GoDaddy. They have no problem with that. If you have a Gmail email address, I think they have something called Gmail for Work. Click that link. I think it's $2 a month, and you can create any email address on any domain you want. It'll point itself back to your Gmail inbox. But that will allow you to send emails from a domain email that don't get caught and thrown into the promotional email folder for everyone in Yahoo and Gmail and everything else that's out there. It's a very important thing to do for your small business. Pre-header text. So that's that third little line that you see on your smartphone. Generally, if you're creating an email, up at the top, if you do design, then you'll have a logo. If you put your company logo at the top, whatever is right above the logo will display on the smartphone. So throw in a sentence above your logo, like your tagline for your company, like a 5-word summary of what's covered in this email. You will get a higher open rate, because at a glance, when you've got 3 seconds as they're deciding to delete or click to open, you'll have caught them with those 3 pieces up in the top. Now, next. In your email, I imagine you will have links, clickable links. Go to my website today, or go to my storefront today, or whatever it is. If you want to optimize, and why wouldn't you, your click-through rate, you've got to make it extremely obvious what the person should click and what will happen if they click it. We use click here often. And when you hyperlink that to something, it will automatically, no matter what platform you use to create your email, it will automatically turn blue and have an underline. That is the universal indicator that this is a clickable link. Don't play with it. Don't change the color to something else, because that will cause confusion. If you have an email builder tool, MailChimp, Infusionsoft, Constant Contact, even Outlook, you can add an actual button that if clicked will take them to that link. Buttons do work better than a clickable link. Why? Because on the button you can put whatever you wish. Get your 25% coupon today. Always have more than one call to action. Now, I don't mean click here to do A and click here to do B. At the top of your email, you've got them for 6 seconds before they decide what they're going to do. Make sure your action item is up at the top and repeat it again at the bottom with both links going to the same place. Okay? Again, you want those to be very obvious that this is what, if I glance, some people go crazy and they put images and they put lots of highlighted text in multiple colors. You've got 6 to 10 seconds. If I glance at an email, bold what's important, bright the call to action and make sure my company identifier, my logo, my signature, something like that is in the email. That's as long as you've got. An email that is 5, 6, 7, 10 paragraphs. Think about how many times you have to scroll to get through a whole email. No marketing email should take more than 1, 2 scrolls. If it's more than that, you'll lose them, just as a recommendation of best practices. Okay. Now, attention. That's what, causes someone to read your whole email. Are the benefits and values of what your product or service provide described in that email? Those are the wonderful achieve and avoid information. You want your copy structure for your email to follow, attract their attention right up at the top, and have your clickable link at the top. Create interest by describing what you're offering, using words that talk about what they'll achieve and avoid by taking advantage of that offer. That is what results in building desire, and at the bottom, repeated from the top, you can have that call to action at the bottom. That is a perfect design of an email. Short, sweet, to the point. What will this do for me, and what do I have to do to do it? That'll be a very effective piece of email marketing. Last thing, easy consumption. I mentioned this. You don't want an overabundance of images and multiple clicks and screaming $97 here and, oh, I've also got this for $107. Focused single emails on what you're offering. And if you're going to send another email regarding that product or service or event that you're promoting, tell them in the closer. I will be sending you another email about this in the future as the event grows closer. Tell them so that when they get that email, they don't go, I knew about this, and decide to opt out or unsubscribe. Tell them what to expect if you're intending to do a series of emails. Always mention the previous email and tell them what's coming in the next email so they're anticipating it. All right. So I've cranked through each of the documents here. The last one, the last couple of things you absolutely don't need my help with. You can look at this and get the answers that you need. These questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions, these are the most often asked questions by the 50,000 people who have done email marketing with Infusionsoft. And what we go with as the answer. I'm sure that some of these questions you'll go, oh, wow, I didn't know that. I sure hope that that happens. For example, one of the best days of the week and times to offer a webinar or seminar. Anybody know? Wednesday at noon. Please, no cheating by looking at the sheet. Wednesdays at noon. This is Tuesday noon, but close. Wednesday at noon is the absolute best time to offer a complimentary event, like a seminar or a webinar. More people on hump day at noon want to just get a break, and so they'll sign up for it, and they'll have a higher attendance. That is more often than not for B2B, Wednesday at noon. For B2C, if your products and services are for actual individual and customers, they will register and attend for an event that's being held Tuesdays and Thursdays after dinner. Highest number of people will attend those. Great little things to know if you're planning to do webinars or events, okay? Great number of questions here. And then, of course, the last thing I've given you are the 28 bad marketing habits that people have that you should avoid. Up at the top, there is a bit.ly. You can just enter that in your browser and find this article. This article is actually on a free public site called learn.infusionsoft.com, if you're not aware of it. We have a small business education site that covers everything, and you don't have to have Infusionsoft at all. It's not about Infusionsoft. We've got industry articles on SEO and how to improve your SEO. There are free books, free ebooks. There are best practices on asking for referrals, as well as example content for referral emails. That website is invaluable to you, whether or not you have anything to do with Infusionsoft or not. We've worked with industry leaders, and they are constantly giving us new articles, new best practices, new books to put on that learn.infusionsoft.com website for any small business. So you might find some additional things there that would be of great benefit to your organization. And now I'll take a breath and a drink. And I'll open it up for questions. Was this valuable? Awesome. Love to hear that. Anyone have any specific issues that you're currently dealing with that you were going, I'm going to ask at this presentation, I'm going to ask about X?
What's the best way to scrub email lists so you don't get flagged for spam or bad contacts?
Excellent. You only want to send your messaging to people that you've been in communication with in the last 12 months. That is number one. Number two, certainly, if people have ever opted out, done. However, people can always opt out, not back in, so you got to watch that on your scrub. Email addresses that are generic and you do not have a name for. Those are also ones you should be leery of. Many, many people will create an email address that they use when they fill out forms, and they rarely go in there and look at that stuff. You probably do it yourself. You have a competitor and you go, I'm going to create a little email and see what that free guide is all about that they're giving out. So watch for the generic emails, like 1967@gmail.com. If you don't have their name because you haven't captured it, scrub that from your list. Don't be throwing everything at every email that you've got, because you're spinning your wheels. You'll be disappointed by your open rate. Your open rate will increase if you know these people. You've been communicating with them for 12 months, and they've got an email that you can actually recognize.
So if you, we obtained a couple lists from mailing list brokers, email campaigns, is that recommended? Is there a way to kind of consolidate that list so it's...
I would be very careful with that. If you decide to purchase a list, I would work with a marketing company to do the initial marketing so that they don't black market you, they don't put you on a white list. So you buy a list. If you send the email to the people on that list, boom, they unsubscribe. They complain. You get spam. And then your domain gets impacted by the spam. It is worth the investment, if that's what you're going to do, to actually hire a marketing company to send that first email on your behalf, with the ability in that email to opt in. And if they opt in, then go for it. Start sending messaging to them. Best practice. Anyone else have any interesting questions? Go ahead.
I think it was in there. What's considered a good open rate?
Okay, so a good open rate, I can only speak to Infusionsoft. Anything between 20 to 33% is a good open rate. Click-through rate, we want to be at least 20%. That tells you that your content and what you're offering is effective. The more important of the two is the click-through, obviously. If you've got 100% opening all your emails, that's great, but if no one ever clicks and buys, you're giving away too much. You may potentially be giving them so much information in that email, they don't need your services because you've given them that resource. They don't have to come back to you. Be very careful about that. Good question. Best time to send an email, 12:15, in the middle of the day. No matter where people are, with the time zones that we have, it will arrive between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Not during the delete frenzy at the beginning of the morning and at the end of the day. Any other questions? No one thinks about it. They just go, and send the email and go, why didn't anyone open this? Why is my open rate so small? Why is my click-through rate? It hit everyone at 7:15 in the morning, and they're on the train on the way to work, or they're at their desk just deleting in the delete frenzy. Best day to send an email on depends on who your audience is. If you're promoting a product, the best time to send that email is actually afternoon on Thursday. People get paid on Friday. They don't get your email until the weekend. They've recently been paid and will consider making that purchase if you're consumer to consumer. If you're business to business, Wednesdays are the best day of the week to send emails. Higher open rate, business to business. Again, that 12:15, so you hit the 10 to 2, regardless of their time zone. Any other goodies?
How do you find out what your open rate is?
Depends on the tool that you're using to send your emails with. How do you send emails, just out of curiosity?
Well, the company email, but we use Gmail.
Well, Gmail doesn't offer reporting for email open rates, unfortunately. You may be able to, if your website is hosted by Google or something like that, look at your Google Analytics to see if your clickable link is trackable. You'll be able to see how many people clicked that link and went to the website because of an email we sent. And you can actually look at the demographics of the visits that day and see how many were generated by an external email.
But the email has to be hosted by Google.
The clickable link has to be hosted by Google for Google Analytics to be able to do any analytics on it. Everybody have a website? Rock and roll. Again, I encourage you to go to learn.infusionsoft.com and look at some of the guides on optimizing your website for your visitors. In addition, there'll be instructions there on how you can add analytics to your website, regardless of who your provider is, WordPress, GoDaddy, whoever your host is, so that you can optimize that and get some data off your website.
You said go to what? I'm sorry.
Learn.infusionsoft.com. I think I mentioned it in the documentation here somewhere. Of course, there's some really great stuff on SEO, how to improve your placement when someone does a search for services like yours, so you get higher on that list of 100 pages that show up in a Google search. A couple things on Facebook. Email marketing. If you have a Facebook company site, and if you don't, get one. If you have a Facebook company site, go to that More area and turn on the ability for people to review you. If they can't click that More and see that they could hit the button and give you a review, please turn it on. A couple of things that push you up in the search on Facebook are the number of people who are following you and the number of people who've given you reviews, bad or good. When you get to a certain, I believe the crux is 1,000 followers and 25 reviews over 3 stars or more, poof, can move you up onto page 1, depending on your industry, in a search for someone looking for your services. Let people do reviews. Facebook will notify you when anyone posts a review so that you can respond. If it's a bad review, then you jump in there and put in a response and take care of that person. If it's a good review, you jump on there and go, thank you so much. Go find that person in your list and send them something for giving you a good review. It's important. We all know that today people are buying more and doing more research with social media. You want to have a great footprint with great reviews and people coming and reading your posts all of the time. Most of my clients, I recommend that they post at least twice a week on their Facebook, even if it's just an image, even if it's a quick testimonial from somebody, even if it's a thing that's coming up, an event that's coming up that has nothing to do with their followers, but I'm speaking at blah, post that. Make sure people are seeing you when they go to Facebook. You don't have to pay for that advertising. You've got a Facebook company page. There's lots that you can do to advertise yourself, and it costs nothing more than a little bit of your time to post. Anything else? All right. The last thing in your packet, you can ignore it completely if you wish, but there is a flyer that has an overview of Infusionsoft and what our software does. I've also given everybody Chris's business card. He is our regional salesperson, and he handles Chandler. On that flyer with all the pictures on it, at the very bottom, there's a URL. If you enter that URL, it'll take you to a self-running demo with no commitment at all. If you want to have a look at what Infusionsoft does, click that link and check it out. If you are interested in finding out if our tool would work for your business, please contact Chris. He'll do a custom demo for you, walk you through the thing, and qualify you. We do not sell everybody Infusionsoft. You have to meet some minimum requirements, or it can't help you. So again, we are very soft sell on that. We're not going to do anything unless you're ready for us. Is there a question back there? Yeah, you should have a bright page that has 9 pictures on it. It's at the very back along with Chris's card. I gave that to everybody. Yep. And if you can't find yours, there's some more at the back here. I'd be happy to hand them out. All right, last question. Everyone get something valuable today that you'll put into practice? I got some nods, some yeses, and you learned something new, I hope, and you found this was valuable. Excellent. My contact information is on the pseudo cover page. I will respond. If you want to reach out to me and ask me something, I will respond. This is what I love to do. I freaking love helping small businesses grow. There is nothing like it. I had a woman who launched her campaign last week by sending a broadcast to 121 people. And if they clicked the link, they'd get started in a campaign that would draw them towards getting a wonderful coupon for services. And it's not that long. It's only about a week-long campaign. It started with the broadcast. And she freaked out. We sent the broadcast middle of the day, and within 5 minutes, someone replied directly to the broadcast email and said, "Oh, would it be all right if I come in this weekend?" It was from the broadcast email, but we hadn't even given him his offer or anything yet. And she was bouncing off the walls. That's what you can do with really effective content when you send a message to your market. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. This is a pleasure.
And just to let everyone know, the chamber really utilizes Infusionsoft, and we didn't really talk about this, but it powers our drip campaign. So when you become a new member, we touch on you after a month, after 3 months, after 6 months, and that's hand-free. We set it up, and you're just rolling. So that's another one of the really cool.
Time saver.
Yeah.
Time saver.